Welcome, ladies and gents, to another listed Top 10. Today, we will be counting down the top 10 Netflix series from 2020 so far. Netflix has become a dominant force in the industry, flooding the market with countless TV series and shows. I'm sure that we can all agree they have produced many forgettable ones. However, we are here today to count down the best ones this year to be specific. Now, without wasting any more time, let's get down to business.
Toss a coin to your witcher, O Valley of Plenty. Toss a coin to your witcher, O Valley of Plenty.
In at number 10, we have Sex Education. The first season of Sex Education was a big success. It's somehow both light, funny, and heartfelt, but also very responsible, mature, and genuine. Sex Education is so much more than its title suggests. There are raunchy scenes throughout this, but this show focuses more on how sex affects teenagers socially and psychologically.
Of course we had sex, Otis. I'm not here because I enjoy your company.
It's never judgmental about anyone's sexuality or desires, and instead insists upon teaching people that it's okay to feel the way you do, and it's okay to be confused, and teaches us how to deal with those feelings. Season 2 builds on the success of Season 1, going from strength to strength, picking up from where it left off, and it continues to be a very unique outlook on this particular topic. This show may be geared towards a more youthful audience. Nonetheless, it has received great praise, and if it seems like your type of show, then it's well worth your time.
It didn't look so bad before, but then I was on the bus and a guy wanked on my leg and I got a bit of a shock.
In at number 9, we have Killer Inside, The Mind of Aaron Hernandez. Killer Inside, The Mind of Aaron Hernandez is a 2020 American true crime documentary series about convicted murderer and former NFL star Aaron Hernandez. The 3-part documentary explores his conviction for the murder of Odin Lloyd, the murder cases in which he was a suspect, and the factors in his life that shaped his behavior. It premiered on Netflix in January. In 2017, director Gino McDermott, who had covered Hernandez's trial for the murder of Odin Lloyd and was writing a book about Hernandez, began gathering interviews and other research for the documentary. After a year and a half, McDermott originally compiled a documentary film, My Perfect World, The Aaron Hernandez Story, that was shown at the NYC Film Festival, but decided to make it a series after partnering with Netflix.
Violent outbursts were not uncommon in the Hernandez home.
Concussion-related injuries.
At the drop of a hat, he became angry and violent.
In at number 8, we have Blood and Water. The series revolves around Puleng, a high school girl whose sister Pumel was kidnapped as a part of a human trafficking network many years ago. One day, Puleng was invited to a party of Fakil Beale, a popular athlete studying at Parkhurst College, a prestigious school at Cape Town. After Wade, a new acquaintance, points out their resemblance, Puleng starts to suspect Fakil is Pumel. She has lived in the shadow of her sister all her life, so she decides to get to the bottom of things. She transfers to the elite school to investigate. While solving the puzzle, Puleng discovers that the mystery of her missing sister is not the only secret that her friends and family keep. This is a surprise entry on our list. It is, as you may have guessed, a South African series, which happens to be a debut for the nation on Netflix. We hope this one doesn't go unnoticed, because with a very unique plot, we believe it makes for an interesting watch.
The things you're going to hear will be lies wrapped in truth.
In at number 7, we have The Stranger. Once you make peace with the amount of characters and interwoven plot lines, The Stranger makes for a pretty entertaining watch. The 8-part British thriller series is based on the Harlan Coben's novel of the same name. The author also served as an executive producer on the show. The series begins with a stranger, played by Hannah John Kamen, approaches Adam Price at his son's football match to tell him that his wife Corin faked a pregnancy and miscarriage 2 years prior. Once Adam finds evidence that corroborates this information,
She lied, Adam. She made it up. She was never pregnant.
Who are you? Why are you saying this?
Does that really matter?
He confronts Corin, who goes missing soon after. While Adam hunts for Corin, the stranger continues to pepper secrets across town, setting off a chain of unfortunate incidents. The show thus far has received overwhelming good reviews, with a Rotten Tomatoes score of 83% and quoted to be as addictive as the novel it's based on.
I love you so much.
Did you fake your pregnancy? Corinne?
Adam, this isn't what you think.
In at number 6, we have 13 Reasons Why, Season 4. The fourth and final season of 13 Reasons Why is the most recent series to air on this list, bringing the controversial teen drama to a close, with an equally controversial ending. The US-based teen drama revolves around, but not exclusively, a group of teenagers attending Liberty High School. The intertwining stories of coinciding conclusions makes for a tense plot and a nail-biting finish to the show. Without giving up any spoilers, the show epitomizes the life of high school students, albeit getting sprinkled with the addition of murders, suicides, and untimely deaths. The show does address some very real issues and some very sensitive problems, so this isn't your standard high school drama, and for that reason, we would definitely recommend giving this a watch.
Don't freak out. What if they're watching him now?
What if they're watching all of us?
In at number 5, we have Tiger King. Tiger King is an American true crime documentary miniseries about the life of a zookeeper, Joe Exotic. It was released on Netflix in March. The series focuses on a small but deeply interconnected society of big cat conservationists, such as Carol Baskin, owner of Big Cat Rescue, and collectors, such as Joe Exotic, whom Baskins accuses of abusing and exploiting wild animals. The non-fictional tale takes some very strange turns, with accusations of murder and the solicitation of hitmen for hire.
Damn you!
Here's all these people filming.
Tiger King became a fan favorite on social media platforms, blowing up with memes and a huge support for the main man himself, Joe Exotic. The series received positive reviews from critics, and according to Nielsen ratings, it was watched by 34.3 million people in its first 10 days of release, ranking as one of Netflix's most successful releases to date.
He was like a mythical character living out in the middle of bumfuck Oklahoma who owned 1,200 tigers and lions and...
In a soul and a mind, I've learned from them. But Carol Baskin keeps saying, I can't have these tigers.
In at number 4, we have Ozark, Season 3. Ozark Season 3 is still one of TV's best crime dramas, with excellent performances from Jason Bateman and Laura Linney. Setting up a particularly juicy arc for its main characters, the third season is utterly binge-worthy, and ranks as its best season yet. Without giving too much of the plot and spoiling it for those who are yet to watch it, the premise of the series centers itself around financial advisor Marty Bird, who suddenly relocates his family from the Chicago suburb of Naperville to the remote summer resort community of Osage Beach, Missouri. After a money laundering scheme for a Mexican drug cartel goes wrong, Marty proposes to make amends by offering to set up a bigger laundering operation in the Lake of the Ozarks region of central Missouri. When the Birds arrive at Missouri, they become entangled with local criminals, and later the Kansas City Mafia. Ozark has received very positive reviews from critics, with particular praise for its tone, directing, and acting.
Where's my $5 million and Bruce and the Hanson kid took 8?
The series has received 14 Primetime Emmy Award nominations, including Outstanding Drama Series.
Is, at its essence, that measure of a man's choices.
And kicking off our top 3, we have The Witcher. The Witcher is a fantasy drama series based on the book series of the same name by Polish writer Andrzej Sapkowski. Set on a fictional medieval-inspired landmass known as the Continent, The Witcher explores the legend of Geralt of Rivia and Princess Ciri, who are linked by destiny to each other. It stars Henry Cavill, Freya Allan, and Anya Kaltra. The show initially follows the three main protagonists at different points in time, exploring formative events that shaped their characters, before eventually merging into a single timeline. Every single actor and actress did a spectacular job with the initial introduction and development of their characters. Henry Cavill was born to play the role of Geralt. The Witcher has received huge praises. Even though having a very fantasy-based story, it seemed to grab the attention of the masses. It's currently sitting at over 75 million views on Netflix, making it the most viewed show on Netflix this year.
People linked by destiny will always find each other.
Who is Yennefer?
Our runner-up for today's top 10, in at number 2, we have Money Heist. Spanish drama Money Heist, La Casa de Papel, is a heist-centric, engaging drama which has left the audience on the edge of their seats with its telenovela style of storytelling. The intriguing plot, which unfolds a new mystery with several twists focused on serious social agendas of current times, and keeps the audience engrossed with its dramatic execution as well. Although some critics are claiming that its iteration of the series hasn't lived up to its predecessors, there is still a huge wave of fans, and critics alike, who will tell you otherwise. The story progresses with the same engaging tempo as always, and will always catch the views out with unexpected plot twists. Money Heist Season 4 has notched up the second highest number of views on this list, at 65 million total on Netflix.
Era un cuento con final feliz.
Last but not least, our top spot for today's top 10 movies in 2020 thus far, our number 1 position goes to You.
Hello. Do you work here?
The second season of You is even more bonkers than its predecessor, rectifying loose plot threads and keeping the addictive contents of the first season. In the second season, Joe Goldberg moves from New York to Los Angeles to escape his past, and starts over with a new identity. When he meets avid chef Love Quinn, Joe begins falling into his old patterns of obsession and violence. As Joe attempts to forge a new love, he strives to make his relationship with Love succeed at all costs, to avoid the fate of his past romantic endeavors. This may be the 4th most viewed Netflix show of 2020, racking up 54 million views, but we have given it number 1 on our list due to its 88% score on Rotten Tomatoes and the consistency of extremely positive critic reviews. The show has also been heavily praised for its strong follow-up to its outstanding first season. We were all hoping that the third season will be just as spectacular.
Oh. You work here? The Apron.
Oh, yeah.
And that concludes our list for the top 10 Netflix series of 2020 so far. We are excited to see what the rest of the year has in store for us. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you really enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any suggestions for the upcoming top 10s, please leave them in the comment section below. Keep your eyes and ears open for our next top 10 video, but until then, stay safe.